Hello, everyone. How are you feeling after that keynote? Excellent, excellent. Hopefully you had a chance to grab something to drink on your little walk over here because we're going to settle in for one of many great sessions that we're going to be experiencing at ClioCon here today. My name is Erin Walker. I'm the Director of Marketing Strategy and Enablement and an internal and self-professed AI nerd. So later, if you want to grab me and chat about AI, you can find me in the AI Lounge. But you're not here to see me. You are here to see how to set up an AI policy in your law firm with Burton Kelso. Burton Kelso is an entrepreneur, national speaker, and global TV and radio tech expert. His vision is to remove the frustrations and complexity of computers and technology and open people up to a world of new ideas, experiences, and opportunities. Please welcome to the stage, Burton Kelso.
Yes. Feel like I'm going up Air Force One. I don't want to trip up the stairs and make a fool of myself. Good morning, everyone. My name's Burton Kelso. I always call myself the technology expert because I've been in technology for about 31 years. And one of the things that Erin didn't mention is that I have done a TED Talk. Can you guess what the subject was? Oh my gosh, you're better than a lot of audiences. Like usually there's dead silence and the topic is about AI. So it's like, oh my gosh, you really can't figure this out. So today we're here to talk about how to set up an AI policy for your law firm. And that's one of the toughest things that we have to worry about because you may not know it or not. People are sneaking AI into the workplace, right? Show of hands, how many of you suspect that your paralegals, your law clerks, and the other employees are using AI without your knowledge? Show of hands. Everyone should have their hand up because, no one wants to look like an idiot in the workplace. So they're sneaking in AI to make them seem like they are super geniuses. But that's a problem. We should agree on that, correct? Because AI is experimental. How many of you knew that? And for the past couple of years with me talking about AI, I've never figured out why the AI is considered like the next best thing to sliced bread, because it's experimental. And there are so many AI tools out there and there's no regulation, and it makes it really difficult for you to use AI in your law firm to make sure that you aren't doing things like stealing other people's intellectual property or uploading confidential information about clients to the AI collective. So I shouldn't even say before, it's too late now. Well, as you move forward with technology in your law firm, you need to make sure that you are setting up an AI policy so that your workforce and yourself understands how you need to use AI in your law firm. But before we get too deep into our topic, I love trivia. Who in here loves trivia? It's like silence. It's like, man, I don't want to deal with this. So we're going to play a quick game called Myth or Fact. It's real simple. I'm going to show a photo. I'm going to make a statement about said photo, and then you yell out myth or fact. You ready? All right, let's do this. Myth or fact? Kansas City is the barbecue capital of the universe. Is that a myth or is that a fact? What? It's a fact. That's right. I don't care where you're from. You ain't got good barbecue and you ain't had good barbecue until you made it to Kansas City. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I've got a bonus. So I'm from Kansas City, right? And my two teams, the Chiefs, hold on, I got to show you. Right. Yeah. Ooh la la, right? So I've got my Royal socks on my other leg too. Look at that. I'm representing both teams today. So let's get forward with our presentation. So how many of you are familiar with Zarya of the Dawn? Now, this was a comic book created by Chris Castanova, and it was her intellectual property as far as the text in the comic book. The images, however, came from Midjourney, which is an AI graphical text-to-image tool. Any of you using Midjourney in your firm? I see like one hand, and I can't see anyone else because the lights are like blinding me, right? And it's kind of scary too, because with the headlights, I almost feel like a deer, like I should stand there like that the whole presentation. So she applied for a copyright for this comic book. Now, with it being created with Midjourney, do you think that she got the copyright? Yes or no? Someone said yes. A lot of you are like no, because you probably hate Chris Castanova for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, no, the copyright was denied. And why do you think that is? I hear mumbling. So someone said the right answer is a series of prompts, and you can't copyright prompts, which is absolutely right. So one of the things that you have to take in consideration for your law firm, that if you're generating AI content, are you going to be able to copyright that material, and is it stealing someone else's intellectual property? Another instance, Jason Allen was an artist who decided to enter the Colorado State Fair with this piece of artwork. And he won first place, as you can see the ribbon there on the, hold on, I got to do it from my side. From my right hand, or your right hand side, my left. So anyway, we got the first place award, and then Jason, after he got his award, did what a lot of people do, which is to start bragging. It's just stupid, right? You win first place, you just shut up and go on. This dodo decided to brag about, well, I created this artwork in Midjourney. So what do you think happened to Jason's first place ribbon? They stripped it away, and it caused issues. Another thing that you have to worry about with AI is the whole process of AI deepfakes. There's a group called Alta who created a rap song called The Savages, and it guest starred Jay-Z. Everyone likes, well, Jay-Z's a fairly popular rapper, right? But guess what? Jay-Z wasn't in the recording studio when this track was made. The group decided to use AI voice cloning in order to give their track more prominence because it had Jay-Z rapping on it. So even though you may not like rap, it is worth listening to this song called Savages. And all you have to do to find it is go to Savages AI, and then you can listen to it and find out how accurate voice cloning is. And I bring these examples up just to kind of give you an idea that AI allows us to do a lot of different things. And also that there are a lot of different AI tools out there that you can use in your law firm. But the challenge is that there is really no set pace, even though most of you probably think that ChatGPT is AI. And it's not. ChatGPT is just a brand name. The collective term would be generative AI, because basically you're using your voice or your keyboard to generate content and images, generative AI, which is different than Alexa AI, which is you talk to Alexa, or Hey Siri. I was trying to get it to activate on someone's phone. Okay, Google. Nothing. But anyway, those forms of AI do not go back and talk with you. And what makes AI so attractive is the simple fact that it can almost complete any task. So let's talk about, I hit the wrong button. There we go. What is an AI policy? Pretty simple. An AI policy is a document much like a cybersecurity policy, which I've got to ask, how many in your firms have a cybersecurity policy? I'm not seeing enough hands, and it ain't because I'm blinded by the light. You need to have both in your firm, which basically is a method of setting up rules and regulations as far as how you're going to use AI in your firm. You think that's important? Heck yeah, it is, because it can cause some issues. I turned on the laser pointer. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. But I know, right? But with an AI policy, if you're a solo practicer, it's not really a big deal. But if you have several people in your law firm, it's like the Wild Wild West as far as things that people will do. For example, I know that you probably have people in your office that are using the firm's email as their personal email. So not only are they getting documents from the courts, they're probably also getting alerts from Netflix and Amazon Prime, which causes a big issue because obviously that work email should not be used for purposes other than legal business. An AI policy also helps keep you, or hopefully make you stay up to date with all of the different AI tools out there. So show of hands, how many of you are using ChatGPT? We'll just start off with that. And then here's the next question. Are you using free ChatGPT or are you using the paid version of ChatGPT? See, I think the people who said paid only said paid because there were some people that said free. I think all of you are probably using some free version of ChatGPT. But the problem with using the free version, if you were one of the ones that said free for your firm, is the fact that the free version of ChatGPT does not give you all the tools that you would get with the paid version of ChatGPT. And the information coming out of ChatGPT is dated if you're using the free version versus the paid version of ChatGPT. Now that has to be relevant in your firm because if you're looking up information with AI, you want the most current information and you want to use chatbots that have access to the internet, and not all of them do. Show of hands, how many of you are using Google Gemini as your AI tool? Someone's lying. I know there's somebody in here who's a Googler and is using Gemini. How about Microsoft Copilot? Anyone using Copilot in their firm? And let's talk about the differences between those three. So again, ChatGPT, you're using a free version, you're not getting current information. Now, one of the most secure versions of an AI chatbot would be Microsoft Copilot. How many of you knew that? If you're not wanting your information out there, then you want to use a tool like Copilot as opposed to ChatGPT. And I've got another secret for you. Did you know that Microsoft Copilot is essentially ChatGPT 4 that you don't have to pay for? Because Microsoft is the one that funded OpenAI, the people who created ChatGPT. So if you're paying for ChatGPT, you could have been using Copilot instead, saving the firm money rather than giving ChatGPT $20 a month for their subscription. But it's very important that you analyze all of the AI chatbot tools out there, which is the starting process of what your firm is going to move towards as far as an AI policy. One last question before we move on. How many of you, and now this is random, are using Meta.ai in your law firm? Why would you use Facebook in your law firm, right? But Meta AI is a very powerful tool, or very powerful chatbot that you could use. So when you're starting your journey with your policy, you've got to analyze all the popular generative tools to find out which one's going to work the best. So the answer to that question, why does my law firm need an AI policy? Well, it's frankly not to get sued, number one. Number two, you want to make sure that you're not sharing firm information to the internet. A lot of law firms make the mistake of using an AI chatbot and they just upload client information to that site because all chatbots are connected to the internet and the database is stored on a server somewhere around the globe. Also, hopefully many of you know this, that every AI chatbot is designed to learn from all of the information that is put into the database. So when you do your search on, I need to write a law brief, or I need to write customer retention letters, I need to come up with a creative customer collection letter, all that information that you're uploading is being loaded to Collective. Now let's say you've got a legal brief that you want your chatbot to analyze. Not only does it give you the report back saying, hey, this is the information that you requested, but it also is taking your data, your intellectual information, and adding it to the Collective. So it's very important for you to understand that you are using something that's experimental. And a lot of people don't realize that. There are people, especially that may work for your firm, that think if I use a generative tool, then whatever it spits out, I can use. But that's simply not the case. We all know that in order to use AI, all you need is the ability to utilize Google. So if you can Google, you can use an AI chatbot, which makes it very attractive to a lot of law firms. But the challenge is, too, it's experimental, and the information that it spits out is not accurate, which is why you've got to find out which is going to work best for you. Then there's also this. You have to think about U.S. copyright law and anything that you generate with AI. So according to current U.S. copyright law, work must be authored by a human to be considered qualified for protection or copyright protection. If AI plays a role in creating the image or the text or even a video, because you have AI video starting to emerge, it must be authored by a human. And I know some of you are probably thinking, well, I authored it because I put in the prompt in, right? That's not the case. You've got to use your own intellectual property in order to create said work. And you have to get you and your staff to get into the mindset of understanding that AI should only be used as a tool, meaning that if you are sitting at the office, you're trying to brainstorm how to do something. Let's say you want to make your website a little bit more SEO friendly, search engine optimization. You've got to be able to put that context in and just use AI to help you with the creative process rather than just feeding in, hey, I need you to create SEO text for our website so that we stand at the top. That is not your own intellectual property. And if used improperly and if you don't review that, it could get your firm in big trouble. So also, you have to understand when you're creating an AI policy, that part of your policy has to be that everyone who uses an AI chatbot to create content needs to review what's going on with the AI. So it's a serious question, because I'm guilty of doing this sometimes. How many of you, if you use an AI chatbot, actually sit back and review the information that's spit out? You guys are just saying that. There's no way. Because it's so tempting, isn't it? You put it in and it just spits out information. And you're like, oh man, this is awesome. I'm going to use this. And cross my fingers I don't get caught, right? But you've got to review it because it's still experimental. You have to. You have to make sure that that is part of your AI policy. Not only, hey, this is the AI chatbot we're going to use, but also put processes in place that we're going to review content before we put it out there. Clear objectives of how you're going to use AI. How are you going to use AI in your firm? Are you going to use it for images only? Are you going to use it, which I know for most law firms, that ain't the case unless you're designing a website. Are you going to use it just for marketing processes, which I've seen that has been the trend with AI. You know, most attorneys, unless you're, well, I shouldn't even say personal injury, but it seems like personal injury attorneys do a good job on marketing, right? Come up with those snazzy slogans, got all the good stuff going on. But if you wanted to be a better marketer, you can definitely turn to AI. I've seen a lot of law firms also use AI as far as social media marketing. But in your policy, you need to define clear objectives of why are we using AI, or we sat as a collective and decided we're not going to use AI in our firm, because that is a possibility. I don't want any of you to think that just because AI is out there, that you have to use it for your firm. It may not be a good fit. So I want you to really process and think about this rather than getting on the aspect of we have to use AI because everyone else is doing it. I am pretty good at social media as far as marketing. I'm good at writing blog posts on cybersecurity, AI, and digital marketing. That is social media, isn't it? But anyway, I'm pretty good at writing that content myself. So I use AI every now and then to come up with ideas for processes. So you really have to step back and say, okay, Do we really need this tool? Because I know there's people out there saying things like, hey, any law firm that doesn't embrace AI will be replaced with AI. It's simply not the case. Your law firm can survive with AI, but rather than just you sneaking it in the workplace or allowing your staff to sneak it in the workplace, you've got to sit down and have that conversation. Or are we going to use AI, or are we just going to forego it, or are we just going to use it in a casual basis? So you've got to think about that. Also, who is going to have input and approval on your AI policy? Obviously, the boss of the firm needs to make that. But one of the things that you have to take in consideration too is that your IT staff probably needs to take a look at your AI policy, because cybercrime is a human problem, meaning that there are AI deepfakes out there that are tricking you and your firm. There is voice cloning that is going on that can cause criminals to steal your client information. But you can't just throw a policy out and say, well, here's what we're going to do. You've got to collect a team together and say, okay, here are the tools. Here's how we're going to use it in our firm. And then we need to have someone approve what the AI policy is going to be for your firm. Now, AI, as I said earlier, is Googleable, meaning that you can just go to an AI chatbot and use Google, or use it like you would Google. But there has to be a training process with your staff on how to use AI. Because I trust me, people that are in your firm aren't using AI properly. Yes, maybe they're the prompt king or queen and coming up with awesome prompts and awesome output from these AI chatbots. But are they protecting the keys to the castle? Are they sharing sensitive information about your firm? It's a good possibility. So whatever chatbot that you decide with your firm, make sure that you educate, because there are... Can you guys still hear me? Oh, there we go. I disappeared for a second. So I was going to start shouting. But you really have to sit down and train people, and you think you would have to do it with AI. But the cybersecurity aspect of your firm is the most important, because all of you know of a firm that was attacked, and I have to tell you that a lot of it is because the information that's been leaked onto the dark web. And some of that could be coming from AI tools that either are selling that data on, or maybe they've been breached if you are using a smaller unknown chatbot like U.com or Perplexity or Jasper. There's so many tools out there. That's why you've got to settle on what's going to work best for your firm. And also, AI is changing on a consistent basis. True story. Copilot was my go-to as far as the tool that we use for my IT company, as far as creating images and text from AI. But last weekend, Microsoft Copilot changed its entire interface. And so did ChatGPT. Now Copilot sucks, in my opinion. I was a huge Microsoft Copilot fan, but now it sucks. So it's important that even though you have a policy in place, that you review it on a regular basis to ensure that what you set forth is still relevant as far as AI tools are concerned. And I'm telling you, they change, seems like every 6 months. ChatGPT has always been ChatGPT. But Microsoft Copilot last year was called Microsoft Bing Chat. Now it's Copilot. Same thing with Google Gemini. Google was known as Google Bard. And the interfaces have changed too. So at least quarterly, and I know that sounds excessive, you have to review your AI policy to make sure that the chatbot that you're using for your firm is the one that you're going to continue to use, because these tools are constantly changing. Also, one of the things that you have to take in consideration too, is the firm going to pay for an AI chatbot, or is your firm going to use a free chatbot? And when you're reviewing your policy and when you're keeping track of what AI chatbot does what, you've got to make sure that the tool that you used before, meaning the AI chatbot, is still going to help your law firm be a little bit more productive when using AI. So always keep that in consideration. So in closing, we're going to play a little trivia real quick. little this or that. You ready? All right, let's do it. So, you have a house. Would you rather your house be infected by cockroaches or infected by ghosts? There is always one person in the audience that says cockroaches. Whoever said that, you do not get rid of any of those things at all. Cockroaches are horrible. I'd rather deal with Casper the Friendly Ghost or some random demon that just showed up. A cockroach? No way, no way. So any comments or questions before we close this quick session? And I know it wasn't a deep dive, but at least should help you get the process started on what things you need to look for as far as starting to write an AI policy for your law firm. Anyone, shout out. I can't see hands, so.
Hold on, I got you.
Oh, Erin's got the microphone. Run with the mic, run. Yes.
Okay, so these might be somewhat related. We just came from the Jack Newton keynote where he was like, the firms that are using AI are going to replace the firms that don't use AI. And he was also, showing us the new Duo. So I get what you're saying, and my feeling frequently now is I feel about all of the AI software that gets pushed on us the same way that I feel about marketing emails about SEO. It's a lot of crap. So
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Well, it seems that way. I'm very suspicious of it. So do you have any guidelines for, what would make, for example, I assume that Clio's product is good, but how do we...
You think I'm going to really stand up and say, don't get Clio? It is the best tool out there. If your law firm isn't using Clio, you just might as well shut your doors.
Taking that for granted. We're taking that for granted. But as far as other stuff out there, what guidance would you give for assessing these tools, this onslaught of messaging about AI that we get, where, I just shut down when I see AI stuff now.
Right. So the answer to that question about how do you select what AI tools to use? So it's kind of hit or miss. So for Clio, including AI is an excellent tool because you have AI that is integrated within your practice management software, which can be great. That saves you from having to pay for like ChatGPT or another AI tool out there. But again, it's not something with AI that you have to use it in your firm. You should be aware about it. You should investigate how AI works and then decide if it's going to be a best fit for your law firm. Because we have to remember, in the legal industry, it is still a people business. You're dealing with clients. At some point, you're going to have to go to court. Now, if you're personal injury, you'll probably never see the inside of a courtroom, but, you still deal with people. So that should be your main focus. But you do have to take a peek at AI like you did with fax machines back in the day, like you had to deal with computers back in the day. I'm sure there's some of you that use typewriters back with your firm. But any disruptive tool that comes out, you have to take a look at it and find out if it's a good fit. So my interpretation of the firms that don't use AI are going to be non-existent. You've got to incorporate a little into it with your law firm. You've got to keep your firm up to date and at least savvy about current technology. It's like social media, right? Some people utilize social media and do great. Others don't use it and do just as well. So you have to look at it a case-by-case scenario and find out what's going to work best for you. Any other questions or comments?
I've got one in the back.
You scared me, Erin. Oh my gosh. I can't see you, so it's like, okay. Yes.
You can't see me either, but I was wondering if you have a sample policy that we could start from.
Oh, you'll love this. Oh my gosh, so everyone answer my question. Get out of my head. One of the best things to do in all seriousness is to go to your favorite chatbot and ask it to create an AI policy for you. That would be the best way to start off because you're not burning your brain up. You know that there's tons of AI policies that are on the web, and I hope most of you understand this. AI chatbots, all they do is scrape other websites on the internet. Everyone know that, right? Well, if you don't, you know it now. But the best way to start would be to go to AI and tell it to create an AI policy for you. And then you can add details. You can say, hey, we're a personal injury law firm, we're a family practice law firm, I'm a traffic attorney. I have this many people on my staff, or it's just me. You can put all those parameters in as your prompt, and it will give you something that you can start off with. Again, you don't want to use that as your AI policy, but a good method to get started is to just use AI to create your policy. Are we good?
I know we could keep Burton up here forever. I know I have like 25 follow-up questions. But Burton, where can they find you if they do want to follow up with you?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you asked. There's a slide for that, So yeah, you can find me at Burton Kelso anywhere on the internet, or you can email me at burton@burtonkelso.com. So I appreciate the pleasure of speaking in front of all of you.
All right, join me in thanking Burton Kelso.